Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a really cool video for you. It's actually something that I recorded last night at about 8 o'clock at night. I was out on my back patio hanging out with my fiance and my alarm went off. There was a guitar up for sale that I've been watching for about a week now and the auction was ending. So I bought a killer new guitar. You guys are going to see it in this episode. It hasn't been delivered yet because I just bought it. But I just wanted to set it up before I just jump into the footage of me out in the backyard. This is a guitar that I actually owned the same guitar years back and I've been wanting to get another one, but I've settled on something else that's pretty close to equal. But these rarely come up. They're very rare, just like the LTD V200 I was looking at a few weeks back here on the channel. These are ultra rare. They're from basically the exact same time period and I had to have one. So let's jump on into it. Guys, it's like 8 p.m. right now. This guitar is about to go down, this Explorer, this LTD Explorer, and I'm going for it. I'm going to shoot for around 700 max bid, so let's see how this thing goes. Alright, you can see we have about a minute and a half till this thing goes down. So let's look at some photos of this guitar. This is a late 90s LTD Explorer. Clearly they did some type of drip splatter paint job to it, and they really trashed the guitar. Still looks like the electronics are all there, and they put some type of iron cross on the guitar. I looked at the neck pretty close. It doesn't look like there's any terrible damage to it. You can't really tell from the photos, but it looks pretty good. This is the exact type of candidate I like to buy to rebuild and refinish. Look, we got about a minute left here. Because I can repaint this, I can replace the hardware on it, I can rewire it, and we're going to have basically a brand new guitar. If it needs to be refretted, that's fine too. You can see we got about a minute left. My timer just went off again. Somebody had carved some stuff into the back of the guitar and the back of the headstock. There's this ghetto strap holder on here, and I don't see any cracks here on the neck joint, so that's a really good sign too. Most of these LTD Explorers from the late 90s were all bolt-ons, but there were a couple models that were set neck. There's an EXP 300 model, which is a set neck, but I never see those things come up used. All right, we're coming up on 30 seconds left in the auction. It's at $294 plus about $65 for shipping, so $360 right now. This model here is the mahogany body with maple neck and a rosewood fretboard. All right, we're coming down to 15 seconds left here, so it's time to put in my bid. I always do $1 over my max bid because if somebody else does the same max bid as me, I'll be $1 above them and I'll beat them. And I always wait to the last 2 or 3 seconds of the auction. It immediately jumped up to $305, and then eBay always does this. They hold you in suspense before they show you that you were actually the winner. I've done this so many times with guitars and video game stuff, and then it looks like you get outbid at the very last second. But I'll be surprised if it happens with this one because we're pretty far away from my max bid. And there we go. I got the alert. I won it. I got it. Guys, we got it for $370. That is a killer price. Oh, my heart's pounding. I was having a max bid of $701, so I thought maybe it could go quite a bit higher than that. But man, that is killer. So, gonna flip the Epiphone Explorer, and now we got another LTD Explorer, which this time I'm not going to let go like I did with the last one. So, very exciting. So I think it's going to need, obviously, a new paint job and probably a new bridge. Maybe a new set of tuners. The tuners probably are fine. We'll see once it comes in, but overall looks like about $200, and this thing's going to be beautiful. I should say $200 and a ton of work because repainting it and getting a beautiful new black paint job on it's going to take some elbow grease, but it's going to look awesome. So I'm looking at this listing of the guitar that I bought yesterday, and I'm realizing one of the reasons I got this guitar so cheap. The title of the auction for this one was Guitar ESP LTD 30th Anniversary. This isn't the 30th anniversary. ESP started in 75, so this guitar here is like a 90s. It's not a 30th anniversary. It does have a 30th anniversary sticker on the body that somebody had put on. But if you noticed, it does not say EXP, it doesn't say Explorer, it doesn't say EXP 200. This is the model, the Explorer that has the LTD inlay at the 12th fret. So they didn't know what model it was, but that's one of the reasons that not a lot of people were bidding on this one. Not only was it pretty trashed and needs a lot of work to get back to like a classic condition, but it doesn't say Explorer, so people who are looking for LTD or ESP Explorers wouldn't have found this model. So I think I just got... Alright guys, so what do you think? Man, I cannot wait to get that guitar. It's going to be a few months before you guys see it here on the show, on Trash to Thrash, because I got a lot of guitars to get through before I start working on that one. But I am going to be selling my 1984 Epiphone Explorer. So if you want to buy that, send me an email, mark@guitarguts.com. Talk to me. There's a good chance it's probably already sold because those are pretty rare themselves. But that one's getting replaced in my collection with this LTD Explorer. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Is there a guitar like this out there for you guys? Like something that you used to own and you sold, or maybe something that you almost bought and then you passed on it and you really wish you would have not let it get away? What's your holy grail guitar, or a guitar that you've been searching for? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' answers on that one. And I appreciate you guys watching. Come back next week. I'll have another video for you guys. I'll have some really good ones. It's about a month left until Trash to Thrash returns, and I've been working hard over here. You can see some guitars behind me that I actually haven't even revealed yet to you guys. So keep tuning in. I've also been throwing a lot of spoilers for Trash to Thrash up on my Instagram stories. So go subscribe to my Instagram or follow me or whatever, @GuitarGuts on Instagram. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Rock on, my friends. This 1984 Epiphone Explorer reissue is for sale, so if you want to buy this thing off me, send me an email, mark@guitarguts.com. It's a great guitar. It's a set neck or maybe even neck through Epiphone guitar that I've had since around 2016. And I'm also selling this LTD that was featured on the last episode of Trash to Thrash, the Gold Splatter EX100. It's a made in Korea guitar as well. And this here is another guitar I'm selling. I believe this is a 1992. It's a made in Japan Jackson Fusion, 24 frets, 24 and 3/4 inch scale. So it's a really cool guitar in beautiful condition. This thing is in really nice condition. I've never really seen a Jackson from the early 90s that looks this nice. It's got the bound neck, comes with the original case, and the trem bar actually even has the registration card with it still, the original registration card. It is a professional model, and yeah, it's in excellent condition. Everything's in really good condition with this guitar. So if you're interested in buying it, send me an email, mark@guitarguts.com. If you want to see a video related to this one, you can see when I unboxed it, along with a few other guitars that I unboxed, and I'll link that video down below. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a crazy update for you. So the Explorer, I bought this LTD Explorer. I put up a video of it recently, and a lot of you guys had a lot to say about that guitar, that I got a great deal. Some people are like, this guy's insane. Why would you spend that much on an Explorer like that? What's so special about that guitar? There's a lot that's special about that guitar. They're a pretty rare model. It's an LTD made in Korea, which are very solid guitars. It's made of mahogany. And to me, it's very nostalgic because I had one of them before, and I almost bought one when they were brand new on the wall at the guitar shop. I almost bought a V200, but I picked the guitar that became not rare at all, the M100, which you could sometimes pick up for like 150 to 200 bucks, stripped down, used. But I just love these Explorers. Epiphone makes a great 1984 set neck Explorer also, but there's something about the LTD Explorers that they're just, I love LTD guitars, and I actually own a 1998 M100, an AC200E acoustic, and a B104 bass. So I have three that were made all within a year of each other in the same factory, and to get a couple more of them like the V200 and the Explorer would be really awesome. But the reason they go for so much is because they're very rare. You don't see them come up for sale. Even the Epiphone Explorers, those are upwards of $1,000 now. So I bought this guitar a couple days ago on eBay. I think it was Thursday or Friday night. I put out a video the next morning saying, guys, check this out. I just bought this guitar. I got it for $305 plus $65 for shipping. So I paid like $365 or $370. The next day I get a message from the seller. They don't want to sell the guitar anymore. Is there any way we can cancel the sale, they asked. Here's the actual message. It says, Dear Guitar Gamer, hey, I was wondering if we could cancel this sale. See, I wasn't completely clear on how the auction works, so I put it up for auction with an $8,500 reserve. I thought the buyer would have to bid more than that before it sold, so I wasn't really wanting to sell it, just see how much it could be worth. Be much appreciated if we can cancel. Thank you. Clearly, I was not happy when I read that. Why would you put it up trying to find out its value? You're just like messing with people to put this thing up, and you thought you put an $8,500 reserve on it. First of all, the guitar is not worth that much, obviously, so I don't think he was trying to sell it for $8,500. And I don't know if I even believe him, because eBay is pretty easy to use, pretty easy to see if you have a reserve price on there, and the idea that he wants to cancel it because he messed up like that and He's just messing with people trying to put it up. I didn't like that. So I responded to him. I don't think that's fair. What were you looking to get for it realistically? I mean, it's in pretty bad shape and I'm looking to fix it. So this guitar, I got it for $360. They sell for $800 to $1,000. Maybe more than that if it's in like mint condition. But usually you see them go for around $800 to $1,000. This one needs a new paint job. Needs new hardware at the bridge at least. The pickup rings need to be replaced. Who knows if the pickups work? I don't really care. I'll figure that out. The frets could be completely destroyed. I mean, this thing is like 23 years old or something like that. So I can't really tell from the pictures quite how bad the frets are or what the neck looks like, but I'm going to take a chance on it. But when you put a new paint job on a guitar, I charge $500 to $600 for a paint job, especially black gloss. That's like a lot of buffing and polishing, and it's going to be some work to get this guitar looking beautiful again. And then, you know, about $200 in parts to restore the hardware and get a new bridge, maybe new tuners, all new screws probably, and get the electronics looking good with the new pickup rings and everything. So we're looking at least $600-800 in theoretical cost to get this thing right. Plus, it cost me almost $400. So we're, you know, to me, $300 or $400 for a guitar like that, that's fair. So they sent me a message back after I said, I think you need to sell it because, you know, this is what we're doing. This is eBay. Then they wrote, I'm just not familiar with how to set up the eBay. Didn't realize it was going to just sell it. Sorry, it was an honest mistake. And at that point, I started to think, man, I'm not going to get this guitar because there's no way to force them to sell it. Like, eBay can do whatever they want. They could send them a message and say, we're gonna put a strike on your account. We're gonna cancel your account. But that's not gonna get me the guitar. So I was trying to think, what could I do to entice them to get me the guitar? All I can really do is leave them negative feedback if they cancel the order. But I'm gonna keep trying. And I replied, you really were going to put a reserve of $8,500? How does that make sense? It's worth about $400 in that condition. Seems like it's fair to me. So I thought it was worth $400 or so. Of course I'm going to say that because I want it. And he came back and said, yeah, that's the like it's not for sale price. I thought it was set up for making the highest bidder, like a car auction, you know. If it doesn't reach it, it won't sell. I know these are going for quite a bit nowadays. $425 seems good. That's still awesome. So I think he's saying, just give me a little bit more money and we can make this thing happen. $425 instead of I paid like $305. So he's saying, give me another $125. And I'm going like, wow, there's not much I can do here. He could cancel it. Somebody else could go snag it up for, you know, a couple bucks more. And one thing to consider is that I'm not losing anything if I don't get the guitar. You know, I'll get my money back. That's not what I'm worried about, but I definitely want that guitar. So after he asked me for more money, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to think about it a little bit. I actually did consider sending more money, but then my senses came to me, and I realized that's clearly, it could be a scammer. They could get that $125 from me, cancel the order anyways, and just keep my $125. So I decided against that, was thinking about how am I going to deal with this? There's nothing I can do to get them to ship the guitar realistically. eBay can't really get them to ship the guitar either. And then I went over and looked at their profile. This is not somebody who's new to eBay. This is somebody who has 162 positive feedbacks. They have a star next to their name, which means they've been on here a while. It says they've been a member since 2016. That's over 6 years. And they've had a lot of activity recently. Many in the last month, actually, too. So that made me think, no, you do know what you're doing on eBay. And I told them, so I wrote back, so what are you saying about $425? I'm not going to send you any more money, and I will definitely be reporting this to eBay and leaving negative feedback if you don't want to sell it. Using eBay, you're agreeing to a contract, and you're not fulfilling your end because you didn't understand it. That's not how eBay works. If they really wanted to, they could just say, screw you, close their account, and start a new account. But they did reply back. Look, so I traced it back. Sometime during the auction, I went to change something in the details and accidentally turned off the reserve price. Some people would understand, but if you must have the guitar, I'll be shipping it Monday. I don't believe him. I think this person sold the guitar and was mad because it didn't sell for quite as much as they thought. But what they were selling was a guitar that was pretty beat up. Also, this isn't a person who's buying and selling guitars all the time. This is somebody who just buys and sells anything. As of today, I did get a notification saying the guitar is being prepared to ship. So I don't know 100% if this thing's coming. But it put me in a weird place because I made a video. I already posted the video and said, check this thing out. I got this awesome guitar for a great deal. And part of me wondered, did they see the video somehow? Did somebody show them the video? Did they think I could have got more money for that? Did they think I wanted more money for that? Did they really not want to sell it? I mean, if they really didn't want to sell it, they could just not ship it and tell me, sorry, order is canceled, items out of stock. They could do something like that. So the fact they didn't, I appreciated it. And I even told them, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I do want it, and I think you're doing the right thing by sending it. Thank you. Because I had already paid. I paid, and, you know, they could give me a refund. But why are you on eBay trying to get an appraisal for your instrument? This is a fair price, you know, in the condition that it's in. So what would you guys do? Would you ever send somebody extra money? The fact that he started asking me for extra money meant this isn't a sentimental guitar to this person. This is something they're trying to get a couple more bucks out of me for. They wanted to get more for it, and it didn't happen. They put it for an auction. They should have put a higher buy it now price. And look at, you saw, I would have paid a little bit more for that guitar, but I wanted at that price. There was a bunch of people competing with me, and nobody else wanted to go above $305 or whatever it was. So what do you guys think? Do you think I should have let the guy off the hook? Do you think I did the right thing by pressuring him into sending it to me? If it would have been you selling it, what would you have done? Would you put something up on eBay to get an appraisal price like that? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. They didn't really know what the guitar was. It wasn't listed with the correct model name even in the description. So I think what happened is they came up on this guitar cheap, probably thought they could get more for it. They didn't get what they wanted, and they wanted to cancel the order. So, and another dilemma is that I had told everybody I got this guitar coming. I'm selling my 84 Epiphone Explorer. Whoever wants it. I had 17 emails the next morning when I woke up. I've got a bunch more people sending me DMs and emails about it. And I've got some great offers on it too. So I'm hoping this LTD comes through so I can hook someone up with the guitar and get rid of it. I need to keep one black Explorer around, and I'd rather it be the LTD. So hopefully everything works out. And I didn't force him to ship it either. That's the thing. He could have hit cancel on his own and said sorry, and made up an excuse, you know. Just, he could have lied, and he didn't. Or maybe he did. I don't know. It's a confusing thing, but I'm almost interested to see if this guitar is going to come in with some retaliation. They spit on it. They already had carved a bunch of crap into the guitar. Somebody had at some point, so that's all going to have to be fixed. But hopefully the thing comes in one piece. We'll see. Pretty dramatic couple days. We'll see if this thing actually arrives or not, and I'll let you guys know what happens with this. Leave your comments down below. Give me your thoughts on this. Was I in the right or was I in the wrong? Thanks for watching, and rock on, my friends.
2 weeks ago, I won an auction for a beat-up LTD Explorer on eBay for a pretty good price. I paid immediately and proceeded to make a video about it, which I posted the next morning. Hours later, the seller sent me a message saying they no longer wanted to sell the guitar. Some viewers thought the seller saw my video and wanted more money. Some people said he got a higher local offer. I think he was expecting to sell it for more than he did and wanted more money from me. First, they said they meant to put an $8,500 reserve price on it and accidentally didn't, and they didn't mean for it to sell. Then they said they were just looking for an appraisal through eBay. They also said they're new to eBay and didn't understand exactly how it all worked, but after looking into their profile, they've been a member since 2016 and have recent feedback going back years. Then they tried to get me to send more money to them, which I would never do. All of their excuses and requests went against eBay's rules and regulations. After a few messages back and forth, they did send the guitar, and it now has arrived.
Alright guys, welcome to the conclusion to the LTD Explorer saga. The guitar has arrived. I'm going to pop it open right now. We're going to find out if it arrived safely or not. Apparently it was disassembled before it was shipped, so not a big deal. Just hoping that the neck hardware is actually in the box here, so let's get this cut open. Being that the person kind of reluctantly sent this guitar, I was a little nervous, so I normally don't open guitars outside here, and I usually don't wear gloves if it's somebody that seems trustworthy, but I don't know, just because, like I said, the person put up kind of a fight and didn't want to sell the guitar after I had won it on eBay, so I figured probably better to be safe than sorry, do this outside. I'm hoping there's nothing weird inside this box. The guitar is gonna, you know, who knows what they have done to it, if they wanted to retaliate in some way. But then again, the ultimate retaliation would have just been not to ship it at all, so. All right, here we go. Here's the neck. Oh yeah, and it's been pretty messed up over the years. It'll definitely need a new nut. Check this out. Yeah, see the nut is like super chewed up. You can actually see some type of nail coming out of the bottom here. That's not a good sign. Never is a good sign to see a nail coming out of the neck when it touches the headstock. Yeah, you can see that this edge has been broken off before. There's a line going down. So when I take it, and there's also a used stamp. I've seen that before. Sometimes factories put that on there. It's like a second or you know, refurbished. So the paint job looks really old. Not that good of a paint job. Maybe it's because of its age. Lots of gouges and dings, and all repairable though so far. Everything I'm looking at, repairable. Goto tuners, that's a good sign. Somebody told me that some of these were actually made in Japan, and this person said that they're the original owner of this guitar. I was reading the description more, and it did say they were the original owner, and it said that they've had it since '87. And as far as I know, LTD was not making guitars in '87. So I'm gonna do some more research and find out if that's possibly true. But I did have someone else on Instagram say that some of these were made in Japan. So check the serial number. I don't see a serial number anywhere on this. Usually a lot of the LTDs have it up at the headstock. I was thinking maybe it'd be at the heel here, where, you know, I'm seeing some breakage here on the side, where the neck sits in there. A little bit of breakage on that piece, so I'll have to fill that in. Really ugly paint job. This is like making me sick looking at it. Disgusting. Some type of dripping splatter dripping down the front of it. There's a sticker that says 30th anniversary. And, you know, the title of the sale, it said 30th anniversary guitar, LTD ESP. But clearly this is not a 2005 model. He's claiming it's an '87. As far as I know, they really made these during 98, 99, 2000 era. So that's what I think this is. I can see it's got a set of EMGs. They look a little toasty. But I'm actually working on a project where I'm going to be painting some EMGs. So maybe I'll use these in that guitar. But it looks pretty straightforward. Pretty much what I expected. All kinds of crazy stuff written on the back, carved into it. You can see someone really had their fun with it over the years. Okay, and then I just found a bag here that's got the ESP neck plate. It actually says ESP, not LTD. That's pretty cool. Wonder if that's a sign that it was an older model. Found the Tune-O-Matic, which is actually in excellent condition. This might be a replacement. And the stop bar, again, excellent condition. Looks like it's got a serious radius to it, so I'm going to check the radius on this. Check the radius on that fretboard and see if they match. Also, there's a white nut in here, which I'm not going to use this, but I wonder if that's an original or he switched it to that black one there, and that's why the black one's so chewed up. And then we got the 4 screws too to mount the neck. So it looks like it's totally salvageable. This is going to be something that's going to be a pretty big project, but I'm going to do just a straightforward restoration and add this to my personal collection. I'm going to be selling the current Black Explorer that I have, which is an Epiphone Explorer. The Epiphones are excellent. They're great guitars. They're set neck. They're solid guitars, but I love the LTD guitars, especially from what I think this era is, the late 90s. Doesn't say the country of origin, doesn't give me any information, so for all I know, this could even be a knockoff. But I'll put it together, find out how it plays, and if it's good, it's staying. Just going to restore it, original, all black, probably refret it. These frets, some of them look decent, but I do see some wear on them, and they just look so dirty, and maybe they could be polished back up. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but definitely going to refinish this thing, rewire it, all that good stuff. I want to say the 12th fret inlay looks a lot different than any of the other LTDs that I've had. I'm going to look into that. I could see somebody also really scraped up the fretboard in some spots, so maybe I will pull the frets, resand the whole fretboard, get it really nice. I mean, I would love this thing to look beautiful and brand new, so might have to go all out on it. I'll reuse these Goto tuners though, because that's my favorite brand right there. And I'll also be checking that Tune-O-Matic and see if I can find any numbers on it that I can cross-reference and find out if that's a good brand too. Maybe that's a Goto bridge.
Even though I'm going to be disassembling the guitar again to sand it, I had to put it together to look at it, and of course get some photos for the gram. And I gotta say, it looks a lot better put together than it did in pieces. I love that iconic ESP Explorer shape, but this thing's going to take a ton of work to get up to my standards. I want it to look brand new like it was from the factory. So what I'm going to be doing is doing a step-by-step rebuild of this guitar, and I'm going to be featuring it on Season 4 of Trash to Thrash. Each week when I rebuild a guitar, I'll have a small segment at the end of each episode where I'm going to be showing the updates of what I've been doing to this guitar. I'm hoping by the end of the season I can reveal the finished version. I'll also be doing a weekly step-by-step rebuild of this guitar on my Patreon exclusively. Each step of the way will be its own video breaking down everything I know about sanding, painting, wiring, assembling, everything. So be sure to sign up to my Patreon account to get those videos. Also, now that this guitar is in my hands, the black Epiphone Explorer that I currently have is going to be up for sale. I'll be posting a video in the next week or two to let you guys know a few guitars that I'm going to be selling right now. I think I have 3 or 4 guitars that are really cool guitars that I got in on trade deals, so I'm looking to trade or sell them. And I'll have a video up before the next season of Trash to Thrash begins showing these guitars.
So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Rock on, my friends. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I guess we got LTD Explorer Part 4 of the saga. If you don't know the story, I bought an LTD Explorer on eBay a couple weeks back, and then after I paid, the seller decided he didn't want to sell it anymore. Eventually, he did ship it to me. It arrived, and I documented all this stuff in a few videos that I have linked down in the description below. But I noticed that a couple people had said that they thought I overpaid for this guitar, that they don't get what the hype is, it's a piece of crap, and that I overpaid for it. And I could see why they thought so. I was willing to pay a lot more than I actually did pay, but I paid $370 for the guitar shipped. It's in pretty trash condition, but this is what I do for a living. I rebuild guitars, so I'm happy to take on a project like this, even if it's going to take me months to do over. I'm going to kind of do it on the side, and I'm going to be documenting it on Trash to Thrash each week. I'm going to show a little bit more progress as a little side segment. So you guys are going to be seeing this guitar every week on there. And on Patreon, I'm going to be doing longer extended versions every week that are going to break down each step. So the guitar is disassembled, and I did like a 20 or 30 minute video breaking the guitar down and showing a lot of fine details and talking about why I use certain tools. And it's just a lot more detail than a normal Trash to Thrash episode would show. So if you want to see week by week this guitar be broken down in extended form, you have to sign up to the Patreon page. I'm going to start posting those every week, so this next Thursday you'll see the first one of those along with the first episode of Season 4 of Trash to Thrash. So that show's also returning this Thursday, which is insane. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want a ton of awesome guitar content. Alright, now let's go over to the computer. I wrote up a sample estimate of if somebody was sending this guitar to me, what I would charge for everything. And here you can see I got the body shape model is the LTD. Toward the middle of the graph, you can see the cost and the charge. So my cost versus what I would charge for this. And for the guitar, I paid $370, so that's the cost and what I would charge for a customer if they were buying this guitar off me. Then we have the body finish. We're going black gloss, which is a surprisingly tricky color to paint because black shows the scratches and imperfections the most out of anything. So gloss black is the toughest color. For a full body in gloss black, I charge $500, and it costs about $70, probably a little more than that, but I don't add every single small thing into the price. There's things like masking tape and sometimes toothpicks and Bondo and things to repair the guitar that I don't always add in, sandpaper. That just comes off the overall end of the total charge, but the labor for me to pay my assistant and even my labor. So $500, it cost about $70 for a couple cans of clear and the paint. So, and a little bit of miscellaneous charge, but we're looking at about $500 for a customer I would charge. To add the neck in, it's about another $50, and a headstock with a new logo added is $75. For the body mods, it's going to take a lot of body repair, and I put $80 down for that because I'm going to assume this is at least 4 hours of labor, and for most labor things, I put about $20 an hour. You'll notice I didn't put a charge for the neck finish, the headstock finish, the body mods, because this is straight labor, basically. So I'm not going to charge myself labor in the cost column. So at the end, we're going to get to see what is this guitar going to literally cost me versus what it would cost somebody else. Over in the pickup section, we're going to reuse those pickups. They look good. I'm actually going to swap them with another set, but as long as they work, I'm not going to have to buy any new pickups for this guitar because I'll just swap them with another set I have. So I am going to replace the selector switch, the pots, and the output jack, And some of those things I got for free. EMG sends them to you when you buy pickups, and oftentimes you have extra parts, and over the years I've accumulated a lot of extra parts. So the pots and the output jack I have. The switch I'll need to buy, so I put down $15 of my cost, and about $25 I would charge somebody else if I had to buy the switch, the pots, and the jack. The tuners on the guitar weren't in good shape, but I think they're going to be reusable. I just need to replace some of the screws that mount them, so $3 for a set of screws. The knobs, we're going to buy 2 black metal dome top knobs. They're about $5 a piece, so we got $10 in there. We're going to go with 1046 Ernie Ball Slinkies, $5 for those. Tune it to standard. We're going to need to replace the output jack plate, so that's $8. The neck plate's good. Miscellaneous screws, I put $10 in for that. And we'll definitely need to replace the pickup rings, so $12 there. To reassemble, rewire, restring, setup, and intonate a guitar like this, I charge $100. Normally it's $125, but since this one's a tune-o-matic, I drop it down a little because the tune-o-matics are easier than a tremolo type of bridge, or a Floyd Rose especially. And that brings us down to the total at the bottom. So $1,248 is what I would charge a customer if they had me buy the guitar and rebuild it to make it like a brand new guitar. And it would cost about $503 in parts, not including any labor or anything like that. So we'd be looking at a profit of $745 if I were to try to flip this guitar. So now let's go to eBay and Reverb. Let's see if there's any of these LTD Explorers for sale. And then I'm also going to look up any sold listings that have recently happened and see what these things are really selling for, because I saw some people saying these are worth $600 to $800. Back a couple years ago, I used to be able to see these things for like $300 to $400 sometimes. But that's not the case anymore these days. When they come up nowadays, they're a lot more. I watch these things all the time, and I never see them for $200 or $300 anymore. You might get lucky on like a Facebook Marketplace or like an offer-up type of place, Craigslist maybe. If you go on eBay, people kind of know what they got more. Facebook Marketplace, offer-up, Craigslist is kind of people just clearing stuff out, and that's where I found some of my best deals. By the way, I got a video coming out pretty soon that's going to be my top 5 best deals I've got on guitars. So be sure to subscribe to the second channel if you want to see that one, as well as some of my favorite guitars that got away, where I went through my Reverb list of guitars I was watching and eBay of ended listings that I wanted to buy, didn't get them, and somebody got them first. So, all right, so now we're over here at eBay, and this guitar is currently for sale. This is an LTD EXP 200. I don't know if this is the exact same variation that I have, but look at that, $4,790. It's an LTD. Let's get a closer look. Looks like it's got EMG 81 and 60 pickups. You can kind of see that the neck pickup has the gray logo. It's got the white nut. Some of these have a white nut, some have a black nut. And this one appears to have the 12th fret with the EXP 200 inlay. Yes. Looks like it's in amazing shape. Oh my gosh, this thing is incredible looking. It's beautiful. This is what mine's going to look like when it's done, except mine will have a black nut on the front. Absolutely gorgeous one. I don't think they'll ever get 4,700 because for fun, we should go ahead and look up and see if there's any ESP Explorers on there right now, because ESP ones usually aren't even 4,700 for an MX model. Oh, here we have a very reasonable $300,000 for an ESP MX 250 custom 1992 Manda Wolf Explorer. 300 grand, huh? That seems ridiculous, but maybe that's an actual ESP custom shop model. Oh, someone's also selling a JH1, $29,000. See, I could look at guitars all day, guys. This is incredible, 300 grand. All right, so over here, this is from Reverb. This is a recently ended listing, so $1,400 for the pair of Explorers here. I was about to buy this one. Although, the one on the right, it says ESP up on the headstock, so I don't know if it's been refinished. They also have the Manda Wolf inlays on that one, so that makes me almost think that that's one of those cheap knockoffs, because there's a bunch of cheap knockoffs out there. But we got Goto locking tuner set comes with them, and this one's got diamond plating on it. I mean, if that could be restored, that would be really cool. See, I almost bought this one. Someone ripped those frets out. They just trashed the fretboard. Look at that. That is not good. They got a diamond plate cover for the headstock. So $1,400 for the pair. I almost bought them. I didn't, I think I might have sent an offer. It says one offer. It might have been me, but I think the next morning. I saw this at night, and the next morning it sold pretty quick. What do we have here on Reverb? This one is a sold listing just recently, $1,650 for a 98 ESP LTD EXP 200. So this one appears to be in really nice condition. Oh yeah, beautiful. It has the LTD at the 12th fret. Okay, I didn't know that this one had that. It has the white nut. Little bit of wear, but that's completely normal. Not bad at all. For $1,650, and it sold for that price, it looks like. Yeah, that's awesome. So the reason these things are so sought after is because James Hetfield played these, and they only made these LTD ones for a couple years, 96 through 99 maybe, until Gibson threatened to sue them, and LTD had to stop making them. So these were only available a couple years, and there's a few different variations. Like I said, this one here is a double dot at the 12th fret. This is a sold listing, $3,369. This one just sold last week or 2 weeks ago or something. This one also looks like it has old ESP pickups. So some of these were made in Japan, and this is one of the Japan models. It says only 300 of this specific model was made. But again, just amazing condition. Look at that. That's what I want mine to look like right there. That beautiful reflection off it. Wow. Yeah, it's got those ESP pickups. I'm flying through these pictures, but yeah, there's the double dot. It's kind of got a light rosewood neck. And all these are bolt-on. That's another thing some people were criticizing. Many of these also don't have a serial number, but I can see this one has a serial number right here. But some people were saying the Epiphone Explorers are better. And I get why you'd say that. They are nice. But there's something very special about these guitars because you don't really see them come up for sale. Here's another double dot. Japanese made. Only 300 made with 2 dots at the 12th fret. These are very special compared to the 12th fret EXP 200s or LTD inlays. So people think this is crazy to spend this kind of money on a guitar like this, but to me, these are for collectors. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I love this kind of stuff. Would I pay $4,500 for an LTD? No. Okay, this is just another really cool guitar I was watching on Reverb. A Star. It's a Gus G LTD. Sold for $500 plus $120 for shipping. I was about to buy this one, but I have a shop full of guitars, and also these neck cracks kind of worried me a little bit, but I've got too many guitars here already. I've got no space to put this thing. So I wanted it, though, to rebuild it and sell, throw it up on Trash to Thrash. But yeah, you could see going through here, some of these things are worth a ton of money. $4,500, $3,300, $1,600, and this one's similar to mine, actually. That 12th fret, that matches my guitar. So the ones that have sold and the ones that are currently available are actually selling above $1,000 right now, which I wasn't aware that any of them were going for $3,000 or $4,000. But like I said, that's a kind of a different thing because that's the double dot one, so you can't really compare it straight across. But wow. So if you look at the total cost that I'll have into this guitar, it's going to be somewhere around $500. It's actually kind of interesting because I just sold another LTD Explorer, this LTD EX100 custom gold splatter that I did on Trash to Thrash last season. This one just sold for $975. My profit after selling this Explorer was more than the $503 that I spent on this LCD. So you can almost look at it like I traded up this crazy blood splatter Explorer for an LTD that's going to look beautiful when I'm done with it. Another thing I'm going to be doing with the LTD Explorer that I normally don't do, to be honest, I don't track my time on how long it takes me to build a guitar because I could work on 10 or 12 guitars in a single day, doing some Bondo on a couple of them, sanding on a couple of them, spraying out 5 of them in the spray booth. So I work on a ton of them every day, and to try to keep track of time, I feel like it'd be taking up a lot of time. I'd probably forget to track time. It would be inaccurate. So what I'm actually going to do with this guitar is track my time and see how much hours of labor I really put into it, because I'm not doing any crazy modifications to it. But when you look at the guitar, it needs a lot of work to get back to the perfect condition. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments saying it's completely trashed, it's not worth it. But I want to show you guys in the end how much labor I really put into it. And we're going to track it, and at the bottom here, we're going to put at 20 bucks an hour, what would that cost if I was going to pay somebody 20 bucks an hour to do it? Another thing I'm thinking about doing with the Explorer is refretting it, because if you look close here at the actual fretboard, it's got a lot of scratches in the fretboard itself, and it looks horrible to me. The frets don't look bad, but I want to take the frets off, and I have radius blocks that you can sand the fretboard with and really clean it up, get it looking good again, get the sand scratches in the right direction with the grain, with the proper grit so that you don't see them, and then refret the whole thing and make it look awesome. Now, when you look at the cost of fretting it, that's going to increase the cost of the build and kind of throw off my equation here, but you know, when you really look into how much fretting costs, you're paying almost all labor. It's like painting, it's like wiring, all this stuff is mostly labor. To refret a guitar, it really only costs like $10 in parts. When you buy it in bulk, for example, from StewMac, this is a pound of fret wire. And this pound can do about 10 guitars. So this costs $80 for this whole pound. So you can do 10 guitars with this tube for 80 bucks. Breaks down to about 8 bucks to 10 bucks per guitar. It takes 8 hours, 10 hours to actually do the fretwork, but again, if it's my labor I'm putting into my own guitar, I don't, you know, I'm not going to add that into my cost. I'm just going to add that into, you know, the side that I would charge somebody. So that would increase this price somewhere up to around $1,500 on the charging side, but on the cost side, it only bring me up to maybe around 515 bucks. And that is exactly why I got into fixing up guitars, because as a little kid, I wanted so many guitars. So I got into modifying guitars so I could have guitars like all my favorite artists. This is the name of the game for me, is buying beat up guitars, fixing them up. And this LTD is going to be awesome when I'm done with it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Remember to come back this Thursday, Trash to Thrash returns. It's going to be a super wicked guitar. Since you guys are watching this video, I know not everybody watches the vlog videos, and as a thank you and as a preview, let me show you. Check this out. This is going to be the first guitar shown on Trash to Thrash Season 4. I'm showing you the headstock right now. Look at that color. It's purple crackle, gold hardware. It's an LTD, Korean made. My favorite, just like this LTD, I think is an LTD, this Explorer. Pretty sure I got the Korean. I don't think I have a Japanese, but yeah, this, you're not going to want to miss this, guys. So I will see you in a couple days for the Season 4 debut of Trash to Thrash. Guys, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Rock on, my friends.